The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, is a masterpiece. It is one of my favorite films of all time, and I just can't get enough of it. I could have watched this movie almost every day if I could. It is just a satisfying ending to the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It has really great moments, epic battles, and I love where every character ends up here. I think all of the storylines are tied up neatly here, and I don't care that the movie has multiple endings. I know that this was a criticism of the film, but to me, I just like every ending of this film. And in the books, there were almost even more endings with the scoring of the Shire. So we didn't get the scoring of the Shire here. And I understand Peter Jackson's reasoning for taking it out. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand it. So this is a really fantastic achievement in cinema and storytelling. It is just a fantastic movie overall. And here is my review of Return the King. We start off with the flashback to Gollum, to how Smeagol became Gollum, and the flashback is horrifying. It is really well done, and we learned that Diego and Smeagol were fishing one day together, and Diego found the ring in the river. And Smeagol gets immediately corrupted by the One Ring, and he kills his cousin Diego, and he is transformed into the creature Gollum. And centuries later, we follow Gandalf, who leads Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli, and King Theoden to Merry and Pippin and Saruman. And I love this opening. I love seeing them reunite, seeing our characters back together again. I think that this is a great moment, and I love the title card of Return the King that appears. It's just really a great way to start this film. And so they head into Isengard, and this is probably the biggest change of the theatrical edition to the extended edition. It's the most important scene that was left out, and it's the demise of Saruman, which I don't, for the life of me, understand why Peter Jackson took this out. It was essential to the film, and you really just can't explain Saruman's ending with just like he is a prisoner now and he can't do harm anymore. Like that doesn't make any sense. You have to give closure to the character. And so we get that here in the extended version, and it's one of my favorite scenes in the film. I just love seeing the confrontation between Gandalf and Saruman, and Saruman is just despicable here. There's no redemption for the character. He deserves to die, and Grima is there as well. And King Theoden sort of has pity for Grima, which I like. I like seeing Theoden forgive him for all of his crimes, and he even invites him back into Rohan. But of course, Saruman has to open his mouth, and he mistreats Grima, and Grima has enough of the bastard, and he just stabs him in the back, and he kills Saruman. Legolas throws an arrow at Wormtongue, and Wormtongue is also killed. Both of these enemies are gone for good. And Saruman just falls off the tower and he lands on this spike, and he has the Palantir in him, and the Palantir falls down in the water, and Pippin finds it, and Gandalf takes the Palantir to safety back to Edoras, and Pippin and Merry are now reunited with the Fellowship. And so, meanwhile, while all this is happening, Frodo, who is still carrying the ring with Sam and Gollum, they are at the crossroads. Just like in the books, Sam is very suspicious of Gollum. He doesn't trust Gollum at all. Gollum is a bastard. He plans on killing both of them, and Sam sees right through it. And so Gollum leads them to the Dead City. It is this awesome citadel. It's this dead fortress of Sauron, and it has his entire army there. And it is now time for war. And so the entire army is unleashed, and they march towards Minas Tirith. And of course, Sam, Frodo, and Gollum, they head up the stairs of Cirith Ungol, and they climb, and it's a very difficult and long climb, and they manage to make the entire journey. Yeah, it's just a very long and just awful climb. And so back at Idaros, they have this party. It's a very nice moment between these characters. We get a little bit of breathing room as well before like all of the action starts. We get a little nice game between Legolas and Gimli, a nice drinking game, and it's just a fun night for our heroes after the terrifying battle of Helm's Deep. When everybody is sleeping, Pippin goes to the Palantir. He needs to look at the Palantir, and he takes the Palantir from Gandalf, who is sleeping with his eyes open. And Pippin looks into the Palantir, and he sees a glimpse of Sauron's plan. Sauron plans to attack Minas Tirith, and Gandalf saves Pippin from the Palantir, and he questions Pippin. And he finds out that Pippin did not tell the enemy anything about Frodo and the ring. And so Gandalf decides to lead Pippin to Minas Tirith himself. Pippin and Merry have a really nice and touching farewell. And I also like the scene that follows with Merry and Aragorn, which was only in the extended edition. Return of the King is by far the best extended version of these films. It is the most notable one, and it has the best scenes, in my opinion, the best added scenes. And so we cut to Arwen, who is traveling with the elves. She is heading to the Undying Lands, but she witnesses her future son with Aragorn. She witnesses her future, and she decides to stay. And she heads back to the House of Elrond to see her dad, and she convinces him to rebuild the sword of Elendil, which is awesome. It's a really epic scene, and this is a departure from the books because in the books, Aragorn already has the sword reforged because Aragorn already knew he was going to be king and he knew he wanted it. Compared to in the movies where he is reluctant to be king, he hasn't really put the weight of the ranger behind him yet, and so it's a kind of a stark difference, but I enjoy this difference. I think that it just puts more like depth to the character of Aragorn. And meanwhile, Gandalf and Pippin they head to Minas Tirith, and it's a great shot when they arrive to the White City. I love this shot; it's beautiful. I love the music when Gandalf races towards the top of the Tower of Ectelion, and he goes to meet Denethor, and of course, Denethor is a big dick. I hate this character. Everybody hates Denethor. He has not one redeeming quality in my opinion. He is just an awful steward, and you just have to listen to him whine and just mourn Boromir and just mistreat Faramir. Like, you just hate his guts. I hate Denethor, and it's a shame that, like, Pippin had to give him his services. Like, you didn't really need to do that, Pippin, and of course, I love when Gandalf rolls his eyes when Pippin talks to Denethor, and he's like, "Ugh, why did he have to open his mouth?" It's just a really funny scene. And here's another great scene where in the extended version, when Gandalf storms out of the throne room, and he explains like to Pippin the downfall of the City of Kings. It is just really well written, and it feels like poetry almost. Like, I love listening to Ian McKellen say his lines. They're just really well written here. It's one of my favorite moments in the entire film. It's just great stuff. And so Gandalf has a task for Pippin. He wants Pippin to light the beacons of Minas Tirith so that they can call Rohan for aid. And so Pippin climbs up. He climbs up really high, and he manages to light the beacons. And the lighting of the beacons is one of my favorite scenes in the entire trilogy. The music is really amazing. It's just remarkable and it's magnificent. This scene is truly awesome. And the next scene where Aragorn witnesses it and he rushes to King Theoden and he tells them Gondor calls for aid. And then there's this really amazing silence where you can tell that King Theoden is like pausing. He's thinking about his next move and he's not quite sure of it. And then he says, and Rohan shall answer. It is just a satisfying moment. It is one of the best moments in the entire trilogy. And so they ride to war. They need to go to this camp first and get more soldiers, but they have like 3 days to do so, and then they ride to Minas Tirith. Mary wants to come along, and he gets to ride with Eowyn, who takes him with her, and it's just this great scene. Everybody is ready to fight for Gondor. They're ready to fight for their land, and it's just really inspiring. And so, meanwhile, Osgiliath is being attacked by the forces of Mordor. Denethor is a dick, and he has sent Faramir to protect Osgiliath, which has been overrun by orcs. And Faramir decides to do what his father tells him, tragically, and he goes to Osgiliath to protect the city. And while this is happening, Pippin sings this great song to Denethor, and it is just one of the best songs in the entire trilogy. And so they set camp there. There are very few warriors, like right at dawn, to Minas Tirith, and Aragorn is being visited by Elrond, who gives him the sword, and he tells Aragorn that Arwen is dying, and he needs to go and find the dead army with the sword that is hiding in the mountains. This army was cursed by Isildur long ago because they didn't want to fight, and they were cowards, and so Isildur cursed them, and they hid in the mountains. And like Elrond is like, hey, if you're gonna date my daughter, you have to step it up a bit, man. And so Aragorn takes the sword and he goes into the mountains. Legolas and Gimli, they want to go with Aragorn. They are inseparable. And so all three of them, they head to the kingdom of the dead, which is a great sequence in the entire movie. I love this scene. It's really well done. They're really well designed. I think that the Battle of Minas Tirith is my favorite battle in the entire trilogy. It's got such great epic moments in the battle. It's really just magnificent. The entire thing is really entertaining. I love when Gandalf protects the gates and says like, "You are soldiers of Gondor. You will stand your guard no matter what comes through these doors." And then like trolls arrive. It is really terrifying. Denethor brings Faramir, who has survived the attack of Osgiliath, to be burned at the stake. Denethor has clearly lost his mind here, and Pippin goes to see Gandalf so that they both can save him from certain death. Denethor lights the pyre and is stopped just in time by Gandalf, and he is killed, and Faramir is saved. I love Denethor's death, by the way. He burns in a very funny way. I love when the Nazgul arrives in Minas Tirith. And I don't love the moment where the Nazgul, the Witch King, overpowers Gandalf because it never really happens in the books. They have a confrontation, but he never overpowers Gandalf. I don't know what they were thinking there. And I love when the Rohan soldiers arrive. King Theoden's speech here is just amazing. It is really well done. It might be my favorite speech of all time, if I have to think about it. Like, it's just really magnificent, and everyone there is ready to die. They're all ready to give their lives, Yeah, they charge against the orcs, and Rohan is like almost winning at this point, but they soon find out that they're about to meet elephants, and Sauron's army is just way too big and way too massive for these soldiers. It's also really sad when King Theoden dies because of the Witch King. Eowyn and Merry battle the Witch King together and end up killing him. Eowyn has her epic I am no man moment and stabs the Witch King, and she then mourns Theoden. And of course, I love Gandalf's speech to Pippin where they are about to die, and Gandalf tells him about the afterlife. It is just so beautiful. It's one of my favorite Gandalf quote in the entire film. White shores and beyond, a far green country under a swift sunrise. I know a lot of people criticize the Army of the Dead here because they sort of bring the Battle of Minas Tirith to a rapid conclusion, but I don't mind it. Like, I think that the Battle of Minas Tirith is already as long as it needs to be, so I don't mind them coming in like at the last moment to save everybody. I don't mind it. It's a departure from the books. They only attacked the boats in the books, and they never went to Minas Tirith, but I don't mind it. I don't mind the change, honestly. And so Aragorn arrives in the caves, and he manages to convince the king of the army to fight for them. And I love the scene in the extended edition where they meet the pirates. It is awesome. It's a really well done scene. Aragorn arrives in Minas Tirith with the dead, and the dead army takes care of the rest. And of course, like Eomer's scream when he finds Eowyn like on the verge of death is just really haunting. It's really one of the saddest moments in the entire film. I really like the House of Healing scenes and the music. The music is just really beautiful. And so, meanwhile, while all this is happening, Frodo is entering the cave, Shelob's cave, Shelob's tunnel, and Gollum abandons him. Frodo like realizes that this was all a ruse, and he meets Shelob, and Shelob is just a terrifying creature. She's a monster, and she wants to eat Frodo, and she stabs him, and Frodo becomes stiff. He doesn't die, but he becomes stiff, and he falls down, and Sam saves Frodo. This is a really great moment. I would have much preferred to have seen Sam and Frodo enter the cave together because I don't like the scene where Frodo sends Sam back home. It just doesn't make any sense. It's not in the books, and I understand that they wanted Frodo to enter the cave alone, but Frodo would have never sent Sam back home. Like, it just doesn't work for me, and it's probably the worst scene in the entire trilogy, in my opinion. It's not good. I don't like watching this scene at all. Sam arrives to save Frodo, and it's this great moment. And he's like, "Get away from him, you filth!" And he wounds her, and he's like the only person that ever wounds Shelob, which is an interesting fact. And so Sam thinks that Frodo is dead, and then orcs arrive in the tunnel, and Sam hides. He takes the ring, and he finds out that Frodo is still alive, that he's not actually dead. He was just like sleeping. He follows the orcs into Mordor. There's this epic scene where he climbs up the tower and he kills a bunch of orcs by himself, and it shows why Sam Gamgee is the best hobbit ever. Like, he's my favorite hobbit. And he arrives at the top of the tower. He slays the orc that was about to kill Frodo, and he saves Frodo, and he tells Frodo that he still has the ring. Frodo thinks that it's all over, and then he shows the ring to Frodo. And of course, Frodo doesn't like that. Frodo asks Sam to give him the ring back to him, And Sam gives him the ring back reluctantly, but he still manages. So they decide to dress up as orcs, and they head into the Mordor, and they're now they're now in the land of shadow, where even Boromir said it was impossible to get in this land, which is this great accomplishment for anybody, let alone two hobbits. And so now our heroes, they are just wondering what they should do to help Frodo. They are having this one last debate, and Aragorn suggests that they should create this diversion to buy Frodo some time so that he can destroy the ring. And so he suggests that they should march on the Black Gate and attack the forces of Sauron there. And that will keep the eye focused on them. And so they head there. And I love Gimli's line, like, certainty of death, small chance of success. What are we waiting for? It's just a really great line. They head out to the Black Gate. While some people stay there to rest, Faramir meets Eowyn and they fall in love. And I think that in the books, Merry stays behind as well because he is wounded. He doesn't go with them like in the movies, but I guess they wanted everybody there. So it's fine. They all go to the Black Gate and they meet the mouth of Sauron, which is just this disgusting looking creature. And Aragorn just cuts his head off. He is tired of listening to him talk. And so the battle begins. It's this epic battle. While Sam and Frodo, they head to Mount Doom, and they climb the mountain. And Frodo is almost pant. He has no energy left. He is almost like on the verge of giving up. And of course, Sam has this great line: "If I can't carry it for you, I will carry you." And he takes Frodo, he grabs Frodo, and he climbs up the mountain with him on his back. Our heroes at the Black Gate, they fight off the orcs and the trolls, and it is epic. And then Sam arrives at the door, and of course, Gollum comes in and he jumps at Sam while Frodo goes into the heart of the volcano, destroy the ring. And Sam cuts Smeagol. He follows Frodo, and he discovers that Frodo has not yet destroyed the ring. And so he yells at him, "What are you waiting for?" And Frodo, of course, he's too far gone at this point. He wants to keep the ring for himself, and he takes the ring and puts it on his finger. Gollum goes after him. He jumps on Frodo and he bites off his finger, and he has the ring for like a minute, and he is happy. He is so happy. He just yells, and Frodo attacks him. They have this brawl, and they both fall off. Sam grabs Frodo, and he saves his friend. While Gollum is doomed, he falls into lava, and the ring is finally destroyed. It's this great moment. We see the effects of this destruction, and the Tower of Sauron crumbles, and the Land of Shadow disappears. And I love the look on our heroes' faces, like the look on Aragorn, Gandalf, or hobbits, Gimli, Legolas. Like everybody is just watching what's happening in awe and admiration. And of course, the hobbits are crying Frodo because they don't think that Frodo has survived this ordeal. And so Sam and Frodo, they head out while the lava is just erupting, and they jump on a rock. And Frodo tells Sam that he's glad that he's there with him here at the end of all things. And so there's a cut to black, and we see Gandalf on his eagle, and we see the eagles approach, and Gandalf takes both Frodo and Sam back to Minas Tirith, and Frodo awakens, and he finds out that Gandalf is actually alive, and it's this really touching reunion. I love this reunion moment between all of the Fellowship members. It is really well done. It is just phenomenal. And so next scene we have Aragorn's coronation, which is just really excellent. I love Aragorn's song. I actually memorized it. I know it by heart. It is a really beautiful song. And I also love the reunion between Aragorn and Arwen. It's just really touching. It's well done. One of the best moments of the film is where Aragorn goes to see the hobbits and he tells them, "My friends, you bow to no one." It is just a beautiful and epic moment. And then everybody just bends their knee in front of the hobbits, and Frodo and Sam and Merry and Pippin, they can't believe what they're seeing. And finally the hobbits, they return to the Shire. They're back home, and Frodo doesn't really feel at home. He sort of tries to go back to the life he once had, but he has been wounded on his journey and he can't really go back to his old life. And meanwhile, all this, Sam gets married to Rosie. He has children with her, and they all go to the Grey Havens together to see Bilbo off and to see Gandalf off. And Gandalf bids farewell to them, and I think that was like the second scene that they filmed. Like chronologically, which is kind of weird. They film saying their goodbyes together first. They say their goodbyes, and they watch Gandalf and Bilbo leave Middle Earth. But then Gandalf turns around and he says, like, "Are you coming, Frodo?" And of course, they didn't know. None of the hobbits knew that Frodo was going to leave as well. It is really a hard scene to watch. Like, I have a hard time watching the scene because it's just so sad watching Frodo leave. Frodo gives Sam the Red Book of West March, and Frodo leaves with Gandalf and Bilbo to the Undying Lands. And I choose to believe this is not where he goes to die. I think that he is just sort of going to this other realm where he's gonna finally find peace. The thing that I choose to believe. And so Frodo leaves, Sam returns home, and he meets with Rosie and his children, and he says the same line that he says in the book, "I'm back." And that's how our movie ends. This movie is just a masterpiece. Yeah, the acting is excellent. The cinematography is amazing. The direction is awesome. Peter Jackson really nailed this trilogy. He did a phenomenal job directing these movies. I give this movie an A plus. It is just fantastic, and I absolutely love Return of the King. So let me know what you thought about Return of the King down in the comments below. Please like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time.